iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right, some news in the NFL. Kyle Lett, this came out literally just a few seconds ago, was arrested after almost striking a police officer with his vehicle on Tuesday morning. So the man who a lot of Giant fans were hoping to be the new quarterback of the New York Giants was arrested this morning. Maturity issues? What do you think? I'm not so sure. We'll have to find out. Look, somebody had sent me a tweet this morning and asked me whether... So he was getting Odell Beckham Jr. in a trade. And I said I didn't like the trade. I said, should I do it? I said, nope. He goes, why? If Eli gets benched, whether it's for Alex Tanney or Loletta or anybody, don't you think the value of Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Shepard, and Evan Ingram goes down? How does it not? I mean, look what happens when any team brings in a new quarterback, with the exception of Ryan Fitzpatrick. So... you've got to be very careful right now when somebody's peddling you Beckham, right? Don't bend. Because the Giants are on bye, and then at what point is Eli done? You want to have Beckham when there's no Eli? I'm not even saying Eli's good, but Eli's at least a starting quarterback who's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. Guarantee it. So just be very careful when people are offering you something that looks too good to be true. Today's the trade deadline. We're going to see what happens today. I think Demaryius Thomas will get traded. I think Cortland Sutton has to play more in Denver. I think Pierre Garçon is absolutely going to get traded. I think the Texans are a great landing spot for him. Without Will Fuller, they need another person there. They don't have anybody. That makes a lot of sense. And I got to tell you, the trade that makes the most sense to me is LaShawn McCoy going to the Eagles. The Eagles need a running back desperately. And McCoy looked pretty good yesterday. He looked spry against the Patriots. The Bills can't use him. What are the Bills going to do with LaShawn McCoy? They're going nowhere offensively. Their defense looks great, but offensively, they don't look great at all. You could just be the same mediocre with Chris Ivory and get a pick or two for LaShawn McCoy and do that. That makes more sense to me. Okay, we discussed this yesterday on the podcast. Ryan Fitzpatrick or Jameis Winston, what to do. Ryan Fitzpatrick is the quarterback. Jameis Winston's done. I'm telling you that. If I'm the Bucs, I'm looking for a buyer. Who's going to take him? Somebody will take Jameis Winston. Maybe the New York Football Giants. That makes a lot of sense to me. But Jameis Winston is never getting you to the Super Bowl. He may get you to the playoffs, but you're not winning a Super Bowl with Jameis. But what do we do with Fitzpatrick? You pick him up. They have a lot of good offensive players there. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Deshaun Jackson, O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, Jaquiz Rogers, Peyton Barber. These guys are all good. So whose value goes up? Deshaun Jackson's value goes way up because Fitzpatrick will throw the ball deep to Jackson all day long. Now, I think Evans' value goes down slightly because Jameis keys in on Mike Evans. And when Jameis is not there, Mike Evans is good, but he's not great. And now I think you can get rid of Adam Humphries. Adam Humphries is Jameis's guy. He's a check down guy. I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick will use Humphries in the same way. Okay? Would I go a bit aggressively on Fitzpatrick? I would. If you were desperate for a quarterback, I know that I am in a couple leagues. I'll have to make a bid. Am I going to go crazy? No, but I'm going to make an aggressive bid and see if I get the guy. 20, 30, 40 bucks. I mean, I'm not going for 200 at this point. That I'm not going to do. But if I can get a guy for 40, 50 bucks, it's worth it. Okay, I've got a very interesting article coming out today on Scout Fantasy Sports. And in the article, I cover 3 running backs I want you to go trade for. 2 of them will shock you, and 1 of them is a guy you know. But 2 of them will absolutely shock you. But what's going to shock you more is the guy that I'm going to tell you to trade. And I make a point of discussing it right now. So let me put it out there for you. I am saying to you right now, it is not the worst idea for you to trade Todd Gurley. Let me explain. Okay, first of all, Dr. Roto, you're insane. You're crazy. I can't imagine why I'm doing that. Let me just say the following. I am looking from week 9 through week 16 at this point. I don't care about the last 8 weeks. I don't care. You've gotten to where you've gotten because of Gurley. I get that. But now I've got to get you to the promised land. I got to get you to a fantasy championship. Week number 9, the Rams play the Saints. The Saints have one of the toughest run defenses in the league. Now, if you want to argue and say that Todd Gurley is better than any run defense, I'm willing to hear that argument. I'm just saying that the Saints have one of the best run defenses in the league. Week 10, Seattle. Todd Gurley had 77 yards against Seattle last time. Now, I know he had 3 touchdowns. I get that. But you can't count on touchdowns. You have to look at the yardage. You can't ever count on 3 touchdowns in a game. That just doesn't happen. So Seattle slows the pace of play dramatically. Hurts Gurley. Week 11, Kansas City. Now look, that's going to be a great game in Mexico City. And I could argue, though, that the Chiefs may be ahead. And if the Chiefs are ahead, maybe they're not running Gurley. I'm just throwing it out there. Week 12, bye week. You need Gurley in week 12, he won't be there for you. Week 13, at Detroit. Who knows what you get with Detroit? You don't know what you get. Could be good, could be bad. So we won't even worry about that one. Week 14. Now it's the first week of your fantasy playoffs. Todd Gurley's freezing his butt off in Chicago. Chicago's run defense has been terrific. And remember, Khalil Mack will be back by that point. Chicago's run defense has been great. It's going to be cold as you know what in the middle of Soldier Field. Todd Gurley not going off in that game. Week 15. Philadelphia Eagles. Say what you want about the Eagles. The Eagles' run defense has been top-notch this season. Carlos Hyde and TJ Yeldon, I think, had 18 yards between them. The only running back who did anything against the Eagles all year long was Saquon Barkley. The only one. And then finally in week 16, if you make it there, you get the Arizona Cardinals. Congratulations. If you make it to week 16 with Todd Gurley, you will win your league because Todd Gurley will go off for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game. Book it. The question is, will you get there with him? Now, I'm not just saying trade Gurley. I'm not. I'm saying if you can get the right deal, if you can get a trade for Gurley that makes sense. So let me just give you some ideas, okay? So let's say I can get Joe Mixon, right? And let's say I can get Keenan Allen, right, who has not played well. If I could get Joe Mixon, Keenan Allen, and something else for Gurley, would I take the deal? Maybe. That's the kind of deal I want. I want a deal where I'm getting Diggs, Adams, Thielen, Tyler Boyd. Now, would I do it for Golden Tate and Joe Mixon? No. Would I do it for Kenny Golladay and somebody? No. Would I do it for Kerryon Johnson and Golden Tate? No. Okay? No. So let me give you some guys I want in a Gurley deal. Mixon, Melvin Gordon, David Johnson. I could argue Marlon Mack, James White. Much lower than that, I'm not interested in going. I'm not taking Tariq Cohen for Todd Gurley. I won't do it. But if I can get somebody to give me David Johnson, if I can get David Johnson and Juju Smith-Schuster, I might. Do you see what I'm saying? I need at least that to have a conversation with you. So, if somebody out there in your league, and now look, if I can get David Johnson, Juju, and let's say Doug Baldwin thrown in the deal, now you're speaking my language. I want, in essence, a 3-for-1 trade. If you can get yourself a 3-for-1 trade, now I'm interested. Okay? So, I'm not telling you to trade Todd Gurley. I'm telling you to be open to trading Todd Gurley. And if you're willing to put him on the trade block, see how much you can get. Do not be nice. Do not be fair. I am not here to be fair. I'm here to rip you off and make a deal. And I'm not doing any deal for Todd Gurley that's quote-unquote fair, because you will lose. So I need a deal where a guy is overpaying you for Todd Gurley. If you overpay me for Gurley, now I'm interested. Now we'll have a conversation. There's always one owner in your league who'll do it. 12 teams in a league, you're one of the teams, you need 11. 8 of them are not interested. 8 of them think they could do it without you. 3 will be interested. Go to each one of those owners and say, what's your best offer for Gurley? And then go back and play them against each other. Well, this guy said this. Can you do that? Can you do this? And you don't have to be nice. You don't have to be nice. This is not about being nice. This is about being aggressive and getting the best trade to help you get to the promised land. Now look, I can't tell you how many times I've ever said this. The best team does not always win a fantasy football championship. It doesn't. The team with the best matchups during the playoffs wins a fantasy championship. Todd Gurley at Chicago, Philadelphia in weeks 14 and 15, not good matchups. So if your league has a bye week and you can just get to week 15, maybe you can get lucky against the Eagles. But if your league doesn't and you're playing week 14, Gurley may just be human. And if Gurley's human, it might not be good enough. I need guys to have big games. Okay? Big games. Weeks 14, 15, and 16. And if you're playing in a high stakes league, there's nothing you can do. You just play Gurley. That's it. You just ride with him because you can't make any trades. But if you're in a trading league, I want you to be open to the idea. I also want you to be open to the idea of joining scoutfantasysports.com. Enter the promo code ROTO70. That's ROTO70. Get you 70% off your first month. All right, come join us. Be part of the Scout Army. Let us help you win a fantasy football championship. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Back with Waiver Wire Wednesday tomorrow. This is Dr. Roto saying be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!